So I just got two more questions for you because you skipped one of them. It wasn't really that important anyway.
Sure.
Uh, so okay, I'm gonna do my last one first, and then I'm gonna jump back to this bigger one that I have, which is more kind of a silly question. Um, so of course I'm an American, so I have to ask about how this affects us. So, how do you think this will affect our politics, our presidential campaign, and the UK and US relationship? Besides giving Trump a boost, because it's
I don't know. I don't know. We we got closest under Reagan and Thatcher,
yeah,
um, big proponents of neoliberalism, and that's where the special relationship grew. And that was after we signed on with the EU. Um, so I personally, I don't think it should affect us affect you guys particularly that much. Unless it triggers a mass exit of the EU and a lot of countries leave, um, that's going to affect the world markets in massive ways. But I can't really see that happening soon.
hmm
Um, Short term, maybe with the markets fluctuating and trying to find themselves. But I hate to say it, you've got a correction coming anyway. And so whether it hits now or whether it hits then, that's going to suck. Um, a lot of rich people are going to lose a lot of money, and a lot of other rich people are going to make a bunch of money. Um, I don't know how much it'll affect people on the street. I don't know. I'm not that smart. I shouted at someone on Twitter today who was going on about how um, was it the 18 to 25-year-olds 60% voted to remain, and then from
yeah,
there it got less and less the older we got. It was like the elder have let down the younger by voting the wrong way, and I'm like, how do you know it was the wrong vote? Like, we're talking years down the line, decades down the line, by the time we're really going to be sure of which was the right way to go. And even then, it's going to be so muddied by all the other events that are going to end up happening, completely unrelated to this, that we're never really going to know which way is the right way.
hmm
Um, we don't even yet know how this vote's going to be interpreted by our own politicians of what
yeah,
policies they're now going to implement. To try and say that it was the wrong way and all these things are going to happen,
the day after,
it's a bit arrogant.
yeah,
It's hard enough just trying to say why people voted the way that they did between the two options. The effects, we don't know. These things take really weird turns. Um, I would like to see us get closer with the United. Well, I used to think it'd be nice to get closer with the United States. Then Bush happened. I changed my mind at that point. I honestly changed my mind at that point. Even though I was actually for the war in Iraq at the time. I was a teenager. I think I was a teenager. I was just about teenage, and I didn't understand much. And it was like, get rid of Hussein. He's a bad guy, and I'm like, he is a bad guy. Get rid of him. I was a stupid kid, but I was for the war in Iraq.
yeah,
Our prime minister was cheering, and now we've got a report coming out that they've held off until after the referendum to release properly. Um, just like some of Clinton's emails and stuff, they're going to wait off until the end of the election. Oh, why you just not release this information? Come on, this is not politics. It's public affairs. And that's very damning, apparently, of the Prime Minister, Tony Blair, who was Bush's buddy through that time. And we'd already said, yeah, we're up for war, like months for like, yeah, we'll go to war with you. We're going to kill? Oh, we're going to kill Iran, and we're going to kill all these people. Yay! Thankfully, we didn't quite get that far, but we're still in Syria. We're still trying with Syria. That was definitely on the list at the time. We're still there. Well, you are.
Yeah.
Not sure how much we are. We probably kill our own citizens in those countries, but we're not actually active there. It's all right. It's nice.
I don't think the U.S. will learn on how to interact with the Middle East for at least another few years. It just depends on if we finally wake up and get the right person in office to start pushing the right kind of policies, or the right people in office, rather.
If I recall correctly, America were on the right side of history around the 50s, I think it was, in the Middle East. You made the right decision, stopped us doing something bad. I can't remember what it was, but there was some time where the United States actually did something good in the Middle East and stopped us being complete dicks. But we've handed on that mantle fully now, so now you're the dicks. I mean, police of the world. Thank you for taking that responsibility away from us. We didn't do a very good job, and you seem to be doing a worse job. So, can we give it to like Norway? Or is it Eskimos or someone? Let's go be the world police.
Maybe we should just give it to Canada. You know, they seem to have the right idea. Just hug everybody, treat everybody right. But Australia, I do want to bring this up, because in our conversation about how this affects the rest of the world, Australia said that this makes the West looks less unified, and I think Merkel, I believe, said something similar as well. You agree with that? Huh?
You don't get any less unified than someone breaking away from the organisation supposed to be about unity. Clearly it sends a message about it's being divided, and we've literally just supposedly broken off. How that's going to unfold, of course, we've yet to see. My vote to leave, I'm still for unity. I just don't want that kind of unity.
Yeah.
The way that you've got to have terms and conditions for trade agreements. That you can't have slaves producing stuff. You can't go and use formaldehyde to go and produce pillowcases. And there's a thing on pillowcases that was used for the Brexit argument about how many regulations Europe brings. Yeah, of course. You don't want to have these kind of things happening. Like boycott, divestment and sanctions for Israel. Like, there's a bunch of people going, look, what you're doing is wrong, I'm not going to buy your stuff anymore. You've got to have that because it brings some good change. And if we don't want to sign up to those terms, that's fine. We won't be allowed to trade that item in those countries.
Gotcha.
But when they start going beyond that, and it starts getting into the social stuff, I'm for the human rights. I'm really scared that the Conservatives are trying to rewrite human rights and that will take away the European human rights rules and rewrite our own. I don't trust these people to go and do decent human rights. It's like Saudi Arabia coming along and, oh God, they did come along and head the Human Rights Council. Jeez, that's scary. These aren't good people to be writing human rights. And so I would much rather stay in Europe for that. But that's one problem. We've got a lot of problems. And there shouldn't be the one massive entity saying this is how you have to run your own countries. Because then there's no choice. If we become a unified world and there's one government saying this is how you're going to be, there's going to be chaos. We're too diverse as a species to be able to go and live like that. Why can't they go and be a country that has Sharia law as their thing? That's fine. I won't go there. It's fine. We won't go and trade if you do any of these things in the production of this, or we'll just source the material from somewhere else. There needs to be that diversity, and I'm for a set of rules for like human rights. Great. Awesome if we can all sign up to that. I'm happy to sign up to that. I'm happy to stay signed up to that. I prefer to stay signed up to that. But we have to have that sovereignty, we have to have that individuality, and whether I agree or not with how a country goes and runs itself, as long as there's freedom of movement around the world, if people who choose to leave can go to somewhere else if they'd like to be, well, it's up to me to go and say you can't run your country like that, you can't choose to live your life like that. That's not my right, that shouldn't be anyone else's right. Diversity is good around the world. Great if we can all get on and share our resources together, but that shouldn't dictate how we tell you how to live your life, in my opinion. That's how I feel on that.